Hello, welcome back to Toffee Lose, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Pendleton. I'm here to give my player ratings for Everton's 2-0 defeat to Aston Villa. Really unfortunate one, and a game where, again, I think I discussed it on my post-match show or my instant reaction rather, where I didn't feel like Everton deserved to lose in the way they did. I didn't think it was a penalty that was given against Eaisly, and that's what made a big difference. But obviously we'll see what comes of that in the coming days. But anyway, here's my player ratings. I thought the whole team played alright today. Jordan Pickford in goal, I've given him an 8. I thought he made 2 fantastic saves, or one fantastic save from Watkins, and then a brilliant save from Watkins in the second half. I didn't think he could do anything but the goals, and I think he saved 2 certain ones to give us a chance. I'm not sure you can ask for a great deal more. He made another good save from Watkins actually in the second half towards the end. I think it was already 1 or 2-0 by that point, but the distribution, a couple of kicks weren't particularly good. But as I say, I think if you make 2 really, really good saves in the game, then you probably deserve recognition for that. So I give him a perhaps slightly generous 8. James Coleman gave him a 6. I thought he was alright. Earlier on today, I thought he was okay going forward. I thought defensively he put in a decent shift. Just one of those sort of standard performance from James Coleman. He was particularly good last week. He was very good against Arsenal as well, I thought, and I was a bit worried actually when he went down injured, partly because obviously Nathan Patterson's not quite fit yet, but I thought he put in a decent shift, to be fair. So gave him a 6. Connor Cody gave him a 5. Thought he could have done better for the second goal. But otherwise I thought he was alright. Obviously there's been a lot of debate recently. Mina appears to be fit. He's been on the bench last 3 or 4 games now. Obviously he's fit enough to be on the bench. Whether he's fit enough to play in terms of starting, you literally never know because he's always out injured. I said I would have been happy enough to see him come back into the side, but I don't think Connor Cody was particularly poor today. I just thought he was alright. James Tarkowski next to him, giving him a 5.5. I believe he cleared that one off the line after Watkins hit the post. From where I look, it appeared to be him rather than Cody, but again, I thought he was okay, to be fair. Not a perfect performance by any means, not a particularly bad one either, though. I just thought he was alright. Say as a team, I thought we put in a decent shift, certainly going forward. He wasn't troubled much, but obviously at the end we have conceded 2 goals, so that's what I've gone for him. For Ty Mikalenko in that left back, I've given him a 5 as well, same as Cody. A couple of decent crosses into the box. He got forward. I felt he actually supported Dwight Mcneil quite well, but defensively again a little bit suspect at times. I mean, I just feel like with Mikalenko you get between a 5 and a 7 pretty much every game, but then obviously he does have some games where he goes down to a 3. He never really goes above a 7, and that's the problem with him, I suppose. I thought he was alright on Saturday. Nothing better than that. He put in a good shift on Bukayo Saka a couple of weeks ago, and that's kind of the thing with him. He can do a job in a game, but his overall game I just think is a par below where we're probably going to need it to be, but he was okay today. Just a guy on a gay, obviously say I don't believe from what I've seen it didn't appear to be a penalty. Actually, I say when I watched it in the game I thought it was, and I was really disappointed with him, but then I see these replays from a couple of angles where it doesn't look to be a penalty, which is obviously really disappointing. I've given him a 5. I thought he was okay. Again, the whole team I thought was generally speaking okay, but again, in a game where the other team aren't doing a great deal of attacking, you probably need a little bit more from him. Whether James Garner will play in a role like that, maybe certainly a part of games, maybe not starting, maybe playing with him, I don't know. But in games where the other team obviously aren't attacking much, you can feel a little bit like a spare part. Made a couple of decent tackles, a couple of decent interceptions. He was alright on the ball. It was just an okay performance. Amadou Onana next to him, giving him a 5.5. His game was just changed massively because he got booked within a couple of minutes. I've not seen it back. I didn't even see it happen in real time, to be fair, so I'm not sure. I tried to find a clip of it, but I can't find one anywhere. My dad was actually watching at home, so he was streaming it. He didn't even know he got booked. I think he must have missed the first minute or 2 of the game, so he must have thought, why on earth is he not flying into tackle like he normally is, or if he'd gotten sent off he would have been beyond confused, I'm sure. But his game was affected massively. I actually couldn't dive in for them tackles, them ones that he normally wins, but obviously if you get it wrong you're probably going to get sent off with another book, and so it wasn't his best performance at Everton, but I do think that was hampered by the booking. Abdel Corey gave him a 6.5, a couple of great runs in the first half and in the second half. He just let me down when he goes through on the right, and he had so much time to think about after making a good run outside. I believe Iwobi it was. Caught in between 3 or 4 different things to do, and in the end he just stands on the ball and we lose possession. But I thought it was a decent performance from him. He's been one of the better players, I think, under Dyche overall, in all the games that he's been in charge for. So I know Corey was one of Everton's better players. Everton's best outfield player, though, I do think, was Dwight Mcneil, giving him a 7, whipping balls in for fun first half. I'm loving to see it, to be fair, because I think a player like Mcneil clearly had lost so much confidence, and having to get the ball and just to hit it into the box every single time you get it, more or less is a sign of confidence coming back, because they're not all going to land. At the end of the day, you can have David Beckham playing there. Not every single cross he's going to put in is going to find someone's head, especially when you've got Neil Maupay in there. But again, speaking of half times, the guys around me just sort of saying if Calvert-Lewin's playing and he's doing that, then we're probably a goal up. That's what it felt like anyway. Second half slowed down towards the 80th minute mark. We haven't really got much on the bench. Demarai Gray had already come on. It's unfortunate, but I thought he was one of Everton's better players. Actually went through on goal a couple of times, just couldn't bring it under his spell. Again, another thing which just changed the result massively, obviously. Alex Iwobi, I think he was quite poor today. I've given him a 4. I mean, I struggle with him on the right because I don't think he's a great crosser and he's not got pace. He's skillful, but as he hasn't got he's got a little burst of acceleration, but he's not got a great deal more than that. His energy is obviously key, and he's a good passer of the ball, but on the right, I feel like he brought Tom Davies on. I'm not saying he's the answer by any means, as you'll see when I come to rate what he did in his brief cameo, but I just think you can have games like this. I think Alex Iwobi, where he just can't influence it at all. I didn't think it was his best performance, that's for certain, in what has been, obviously a largely positive season for him. Up front, Neil Maupay, chasing shadows most of the game, wasn't he? Giving him a 5.5. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because he worked hard, and I think we saw once he went off, Everton basically didn't win the ball back again in the attacking third, maybe once or twice. When he was on the pitch, I feel like we did it maybe half a dozen times, 7 times, 8 times maybe. And I think that's because he facilitates that, he works hard, he does run, he gives it his all, but then the ball's falling to him in the box and you're thinking, right, you've had to run so much all game, this is what you're in the team for, though, is to finish this chance or to get a shot away. And he's lacking confidence massively, isn't he? And he just isn't the answer. Sean Dyche would never have signed him in a million years, and it's just been a disastrous transfer, hasn't it? I mean, we can call a spade and say, again, he wasn't very good today, but he's not getting any spare change out of Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings isn't the best centre back in the Premier League, but he is one of the most physical and aerially dominant that the Premier League has at the moment. So he's going to really struggle there. But I felt he kept going, kept working hard. It's just that when the chance arises, he has to do better, and he did in both halves, to be fair, before he got substituted off. Speaking of the subs, Tom Davies and Demarai Gray, gave them both a 1. I thought they both absolutely crap, and then Davies as well. He just run around kicking people, and some people might like that, but for me, I'm thinking he's been brought on here. He came on at right midfield as well, which is interesting, and Gray and Sims went up front. I'd said as soon as Dyche came in, I thought he might have done like a Jeff Hendrick role and played out wide. He did that today, and he just, he was only on the pitch for 5-10 minutes, but he was like, when people weren't on the ball, he was kicking them and digging them, and I was like, show a bit of fight, great, sure, but do it by winning the ball back, do it by making an impact on the game. Don't just go around hitting people. It was bizarre. He digged, I think it was Jacob Ramsey, just in the gut for no reason. I'm thinking, sure, give it all that when you've been playing really well and you're trying to get in someone's head, but the last couple of minutes, and you need to make an impact. You just run around kicking people. You've gotten way too emotional with it. Yeah, he was pretty crap when he came on, quite useless, and Demarai Gray I didn't think was much better at all. Had a couple of good opportunities, but he just didn't do it. He's playing on the right as well. It's just a mess, isn't it? The squad. We saw the depth of it today, and that's why we have to take the lead in games. We can't be going a goal down, because whereas they brought on, who did they bring on? Buendia. They brought on that new left back from Real Betis. He signed him from. I can't think who else they brought. I think they still had Duran on the bench, didn't they? Coutinho, I don't know, was he in the squad? I'm not sure. So much more quality for Villa. And then Sims, he came on, I give him maybe a 3. Won a couple of flick-ons. but unfortunately he's just getting bullied again. He's not ready for the Premier League. It's quite clear. Again, saying that against someone like Tyrone Mings, who I know I said earlier, he's not perfect, but he is dominant physically, aerially, and like every other Aston Villa player under Unai Emery, he will make games very difficult for opposing players because he wants them to make them know that they're in a game, and that's certainly what Tyrone Mings does. It's unfortunate for him, but again, another learning curve, and hopefully he can provide something at some point this season. But you just saw instantly the level dropped going forward in terms of the final third press, and when he came on, and that's definitely why he's not being preferred to Neil Maupay at the minute. But anyway, there's my player ratings. I think obviously if we'd won the game and everyone had put in that extra 10%, I'm sure everyone would have been getting 6s and 7s. But I felt the way the game ended after the second goal, the players just gave up. They were playing wherever they wanted to on the pitch. It was quite strange, really. And in the end, we've fallen to a 2-0 defeat, and that was all she wrote, as I said in my instant match reaction. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and let us know what you thought of the game and of each individual player in the comments. Thank you.